Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas into stuff you can actually use. Today, we're diving into a hidden force that controls the speed and the cost of literally everything you do, from billion-dollar business deals all the way down to conversations you have with your family.
So let's just start with a quick thought experiment. I want you to picture someone in your life that you have a really high trust relationship with. Could be a boss, a partner, a good friend. Got 'em? Okay, how does that feel? How fast can you get things done together? It's pretty effortless, right?
Now, flip that. Think of a low-trust relationship. You know the one. The communication feels guarded. Maybe you feel like you're walking on landmines, where every single word gets picked apart. It's just exhausting, isn't it?
Well, that difference, that feeling you can physically sense, is what Stephen M. R. Covey calls the speed of trust. And as we're about to see in this explainer of his amazing work, this isn't some soft, fuzzy social virtue. Nope, it is a hidden economic reality that's quietly shaping every single part of your life.
You see, that difference in speed and energy has a name. Covey calls it the trust tax. It's this hidden cost that we're all paying in our low-trust relationships and companies, and we don't even realize it. It's not going to show up on any financial statement, but trust me, it is there.
Just think about how it affects simple communication. In a high-trust relationship, you can kind of say the wrong thing and people still get what you mean. They give you the benefit of the doubt. But in a low-trust situation, you can be incredibly precise, choose your words perfectly, and people will still find a way to misinterpret you. That friction, that is the trust tax in action.
And hey, this isn't just a feeling, it's not just anecdotal. Experts have actually put numbers to it. Every single time you have to second-guess someone or verify their work or play office politics, you're paying that tax. It's what creates all the bureaucracy and red tape that slows everything down and just kills the bottom line. Okay, so what if we could flip that? What if we could turn that tax into a dividend? Well, this leads us to the central idea of this whole book. Trust is a straight-up economic driver. It all boils down to a really simple but incredibly powerful formula. When trust goes down, speed goes down with it, and costs go up. But when trust goes up, speed goes way up, and costs come way down. This shows that trust isn't soft. It's a hard-edged, measurable, economic force.
You know, there's a perfect story that shows this in action. Warren Buffett actually said this about his multi-billion-dollar deal to buy McLane Distribution from Walmart. The trust between the two leaders was so incredibly high that it just completely changed the rules of the game.
So let's just compare for a second. A deal of that size would normally take months, 6 months, maybe more, and millions of dollars in legal and accounting fees just to verify everything. But because of the high trust between them, Buffett's deal was basically done with a 2-hour meeting and a handshake. It closed in less than a month and saved millions. That right there, that is a massive trust dividend.
Seeing a dividend like that really makes you ask a critical question. If trust is that valuable, how do we actually build it? Well, it turns out it's not just about being a good person. The model is way more complete than that.
You see, trust is a function of two things: character and competence. Character is all about your integrity, your motives, your intent. And competence is about your capabilities, your skills, your results. And here's the kicker. You absolutely have to have both. Just think about it for a second. You might trust someone's honesty completely. You trust their character. But if they don't have the skills for the job, you're not going to trust them with a critical task, right? And on the flip side, someone might be brilliant, super competent, but if you question their character, if you think they're shady, you're never going to fully trust them. One without the other is totally incomplete.
So this brings us to a really practical framework for how you build personal credibility, which is the absolute foundation of all trust. It all starts from the inside and works its way out.
Character and competence break down into these 4 cores. On the character side of the ledger, you've got integrity. Are you the same person on the inside as you are on the outside? And intent. What's your motive? And on the competence side, you have capabilities. Are you relevant? Do you have the skills? And results. What's your track record? This is what makes you believable.
So first up is integrity. Now this is way more than just being honest. It's about congruence. It's about walking your talk. It's having the courage to actually act in line with your values, and that inspires this deep confidence in other people. Next, we have intent. This is all about your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? When people truly believe that your motives are straightforward and that you're genuinely looking for a win-win, they let their guard down. They stop looking for some kind of hidden agenda.
The first core of competence is your capabilities. I mean, these are the tools in your toolbox. And in the world we live in today, which changes so fast, this means you have to be committed to constant learning. Because if you're not getting better, you're becoming irrelevant. It's that simple.
And finally, results. This is your track record. It's the ultimate proof of your competence. You know, talk is cheap. When you actually deliver on what you promise, you establish massive credibility, and you can convert even the biggest skeptics.
So, what happens when we really start to actively build these 4 cores in ourselves and in our teams? Well, we transform that hidden tax we've been talking about into a very real, very tangible dividend.
You literally move from a culture of bureaucracy, politics, and disengagement to one of innovation, real collaboration, and accelerated growth. High trust becomes a performance multiplier. It makes everything better, faster, and cheaper.
So, how do you start? Where do you even begin? Well, you start small. The fastest way to build trust with yourself and with other people is simply to make and keep a commitment. So pick just one of those 4 cores to focus on. Then make one small, specific promise related to it, even if it's just to yourself, and then make sure you follow through.
In the end, building trust isn't an accident. It's not luck. It is a deliberate choice. It's a skill you can learn, and it's a strategic advantage you can create for yourself. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with it?